I was born with wings, but I didn't know it, and one fall taught me how to fly. As a kid, I was super shy and had very little self-confidence. I remember being in 6th grade and wanting to join the school's debate team. No, 1, I had to attend all these boring staff meetings, and no, 2, I was still shy. The tryouts were in front of the whole school. I wanted to be a part of this so badly, but I couldn't do it because of my shyness. I ended up not trying out. I felt like I was born without wings when I saw everyone else who could speak and debate in front of the entire school. She was taking a course to get a teaching certificate in China. So I did something crazy. The next day, I came to school wearing a beautiful red dress. Suddenly, I had an idea. I told her, "Let's go to lunch. I'm going to introduce you to my colleagues." She stopped and looked at me with tears in her eyes. One day, we were having lunch together. She told me, "You saved me. You gave me confidence. Thank you." I learned that if you treat others the way you want to be treated, they will treat you the same way. If you show kindness to others, they will show kindness to you. I might not have been born with wings, but after that fall, I learned how to fly. I told her, we helped each other. You taught me to be more open to other cultures and you helped me find my voice, but you don't speak Korean, she said. I know, but I'm sure they will understand if I translate. I took her to the restaurant where all my colleagues were eating. They all stopped talking and stared at Diana. "This is Diana," I said. "She doesn't speak Korean, so please try to speak slowly and help her understand." They all nodded their heads. I sat between them and started translating. After lunch, they all started speaking Korean again. I excused myself to the restroom. Diana followed me. "Why are they ignoring me?" she asked. "They're not ignoring you. You're just different from them. They don't know how to approach you." Diana stayed in the staff room for the rest of the day. It was a dress my mother had made for me. When my colleagues saw me, they finally looked up from their computers. One of them even said, "Wow, you look pretty." I smiled at him. I was happy that I had finally made eye contact with him. Then I went to the staff room to get Diana. I knocked on the door and said, "Diana, are you coming?" I was waiting for her to come out, but she didn't. So I opened the door and went inside. She was sitting on the floor crying. I asked her why she was sad. She told me no one had spoken to her for 2 days. I hugged her and said, "Don't worry, I'll protect you." I took her hand and led her out of the staff room. She knew almost nothing about Korea. I was excited to show her around. After graduating from university, I started working at an international school as an English teacher. It was great. I loved teaching, but there were 2 problems. The next morning, I went to see Diana. "Diana," I said, "I want to invite all my colleagues over for dinner. Would you like to come?" She smiled and nodded. On the day of the party, I cooked all my favorite Brazilian dishes. We ate, we drank, and we talked. My colleagues were surprised by how well Diana could speak Portuguese. After the party, they all thanked me and told me Diana had made many new friends. One day during the staff meeting, they announced we would have a new colleague starting soon. We needed to make name tags for her. They gave us a big stack of paper and said, "Let's get started." I looked down at the table. I didn't want to talk. Suddenly, I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was Sarah, the school principal. She said, "Can you help her? Can you be her buddy?" She pointed at the new teacher who was standing awkwardly by the door. I froze. I didn't say a word. I couldn't say a word. I just nodded my head slowly. That was the quietest yes she had ever heard, he said with a smile. After the meeting, Sarah introduced me to Diana. We went to get her some water. As we walked, Diana told me about herself. She was from Brazil. The next day, I brought Diana to my staff room. All my colleagues were there. I introduced her to them. She greeted everyone, but no one responded. They were all sitting quietly, staring at their computers. I tapped one of them on the shoulder and said, "Say hello." He turned around and just grunted. I kept tapping people on the shoulders, saying, "Say hello." Finally, they all looked up at Diana and said, hello, they were ignoring her because they didn't know her. But I made sure to include her in everything. I thought maybe if I took her to lunch, they would start talking to her. But no, they only spoke English with me and completely ignored Diana, who was a native speaker. I was disappointed, but I decided to make a change. As we walked, I thought, how can I help her? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what I could do to help Diana. Suddenly, I got an idea. As time went by, Diana became one of my best friends. After working at that school for 3 years, I finally gained the confidence to speak in front of large groups of people. Thank you for listening. This has been your host. See you next time.